ji kendo mi annun ji senawo adabe hadama dungula balu wala kono annun hadama dung ka fengo fengo dundi akono kono ayanda ke ku senawo ay ke kuti mi yalla ko ata hadama dung mantora madum one stop water solutions limited ibi jande gambia banko kan andun ye filtarole natal me yalla ko isala jiol kende andi anu isa senen inatale pour ka ji kendo ji senawo natale gambia banko kan jio mi yalla ko atal mantora la annun jio diata ba one stop water solutions limited ye filtarole natal me yalla ko alse muna fangano la alla pompol isala jiol tenteng ya senendi coming alla fala nyame naketa pompoti bang abo hono fo nawek la pipe wala a filter sifa o sifa one stop solutions ya natale 10-inch filter set of 3 ya sotale filter mi yalla ko asidiyota aya tenteng natara bankole ba kono fa kenyo wala kankan be bije sa be bon filter fana member ko 12-inch set of 3 filter mi yalla ko asidiyota aya dada aya senendi mense beta alla jata kendato o fana sotale CTO block carbon filter o fana mu filter mi yalla ko asi chemical o bonnino jiol kono le mense beta alla jata kendaya filter mu mboko CTO block carbon mensi jiola chemical o be bondi akono pour kala jata kendaya sa hen nim filter sabol be kili clean na pansundo ku na wata tankol fana sotale kabrim 500 5000 fokata 10000 liters plumbing fittings fana be mol bulle alsemol tarano sukuta highway mariama kunda johnson wala ismol kumandi 505 5691 796 8270 one stop water limited solutions inatale ka jiko be sonende gambia banko
novelas no gungiti sama keji ba xetine duma tok duma tayi man dal de mokoy wëri parfum novelas ko biski kër gi xet gi day neex parfum novelas moy waaja li moy parfum novelas parfum bi dafa neex forest bi dafa neex saxla bari dafa neex li moy parfum novelas parfum bi dafa neex almadina boko pompe xet gi day gunguni li moy parfum novelas baxur bi dafa neex brise marine bi ak yepane ak novelas féppay xeeñ neex.
Morning there. You're watching QTV this morning, and I am your host, Jennifer Sonko. Thank you for joining us, Ibrahim Abalde, my amazing co-host.
Oh yeah, it's good to be back. Jay, ham nga ne namanala. I really.
Yo, demba rek nga namama.
No, namanala de.
Tambum upaway.
All suma yahi. Look at my bones. Look at my collarbones.
Anyway, it's good to be back. Aliou Cissé was here yesterday. Te gis naa ne affaire si dox na tamit. Waaye yow sa xaftaan lan la?
No, waaye dëgga Cham Creation.
Cham mu ne bu ma waxati sa xaftaan lan la.
No, waaye Cham Creation.
Waaw.
Yow da nga garaaw sa doole la.
Cham Creation man suma gram bu ak kii xaftaanam lan la ci ñun.
Waaye tam ji xam nga lan moo ma jaaxal.
Waaw.
Gaay du ñu bàyyi ñun ñu doxal lu ñoo doxal rek.
mënuñ ñoo bàyyi.
Ma ne ñun ñu noppi rek ñu def lu ñoo def.
Waaw ñun nañ def suñu liggéey rek ñun nañ dem rek.
So we are back again.
We are back again, and it's good to be back. So we have the African proverb, we have the newspaper review here. We're joined by Mamadou Mbodj to help us analyze some of the stories that we have. And on social issues today, we'll be taking a look at fertility awareness and the impact it has on society, culture, family, just some of the things that they get to encounter, considering the fact that infertility is quite a problem in Africa. So we'll be joined by Seni M. Cisse, and she's the founder, Safe Heaven Foundation. So she decided to set up this foundation just to help her fellow women who suffer infertility. So she'll be here to educate us. And also today we'll be introducing a new segment, which is beauty and fashion. And we'll be joined by a stylist, Ousseynou Gueye, for the second time. Just wax ñu rek naka nga solo ak noy dago ak noy defé.
Xam nga solin dafa am solo.
Waaw.
Da nga wara xam naka ngay maaje kolay. So gisee tay nu ma fi toogee yaa ngi gis mo mbaxana bi lu mel. Maa ngi am lu mel ni chocolat moo nekk ci kaw.
Chocolat yaa
ba pare ma am green buñ saani foofu tuuti pour mu saf. So
no, tay fashion and beauty bi du yomba. So and then now we head right on to Click as well. Immediately after that, we'll be joined by Skengman Sweezy featuring Uche. And just to remind you that this is proudly sponsored by One Stop Water Solution. Thank you so much for joining our team. So what is our African proverb?
Oh yeah, African proverb. When the cock is drunk, he forgets about the hog.
So what does this tell you?
Well, for me, I would relate this to fail to plan.
Okay.
Jainaba. Sometimes if things are okay, you fail to plan for the future. You never consider that tomorrow the situation might change. Sometimes you never know what will come tomorrow. So once you fail to plan, you are forgetting about the hug, because at the end of the time, you might see yourself in a different situation. Yes.
Yeah, and I also, for me, when I take a look at this, it talks to me about how you get to plan when it comes to some of the dangers that you might encounter. So this really has to do with, there's a danger there, you know, and how you should not forget about that danger, that it is there and it is still in existence, and you need to put it into consideration when it comes to whatever that you do. So for me, this is what it shows me. You know, it shows when it's drunk, it forgets about it. So, you know, most of the time there's a challenge in front of you.
Yes.
You know, there's a threat in front of you. You always have to make sure that as long as that threat is there and it is existing and it will continue to exist, you need to find ways to protect yourself against that.
When you look at it, the hug here is the threat.
It is.
And to be drunk here, it's the enjoyment.
It is.
Sometimes,
forgetting that there's a threat and a challenge waiting for you.
So, Mr. Mboj, what's up? What's up?
Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. Yes, your proverb, yes, the key is stop there, drunk. Very interesting, because to me, people don't simply get drunk on alcohol. It's not simply alcohol that gets people drunk. False ideas, illusions. When you go to the internet, conspiracy theories, there are all sorts of things that we get drunk on. So when we do, then we really cannot analyze, cannot assess the dangers, the hug. That is precisely it. One can be even drunk on illusions, bad ideas. Imagine I do not have a good measure of what I can do. Then I want to aim perhaps too high. Let's be realistic, these things happen. Then I hold on to that and keep on moving. I may not get to my destination at all, because I couldn't see the dangers of lack of natural ability. I'm sorry, these things happen. So we have to be real. So this is it. When you are drunk on illusions, you will not see the dangers in what you're doing. And then in the end, what do we have? Failure. We get old or we die, and perhaps we start blaming others.
What about those who will tell you, life is too short, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Don't stress your life.
I don't know. I have this. I understand. There's some sense in which I understand it. That means don't be too broody. Don't spend too much time on certain bad, unfortunate aspects of your life. You know, live for the moment. You know, I get that sense, but I don't think they mean that you shouldn't plan, that you must have a carefree attitude and just live for now. There's something that we teach students when I was at KYT, delayed gratification. The enjoyment is not about now, it's about tomorrow. Now is to pay the price. It's like once you're growing older, you go to school, then afterwards to university. There's so much work you have to put in there, but that is the sacrifice for later on. Higher earning power, even your lifestyle when you're educated is different. So the benefits of there, but first I have to pay the price.
Yeah, true.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think it's a very good proverb. As individuals, let's just try by all means all the time to put into consideration some of the threats that we have, some of the challenges that are in front of us, you know. Let us always put it into consideration and plan, you know. Try to plan how to actually solve each of these, and do not get it off your mind. Like you mentioned, sometimes you have to work hard now and get to enjoy later. But not, but anyway, sometimes it has to be balanced as well. You know, it's okay to just take a break sometimes and enjoy. So we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll head right on to the newspaper review. We're joined by Mamadou Mboj.
Money service bolen gëna tàmm defati nañ ko de. Léegi mun nga jënd cash power ak sa Q Money account te doo ci fay dara. Wow, te doo ci fay dara. Dara gënu ta yomba lu jarut dara. Commencé leen jënd seen cash power si waxtu bu leen neex te doo leen si am benn jafe-jafe ak service yu leen Q Money amal. Ak Q Money yombalal sa àddina. Doxantul si Q Money agent bu leen gën a jege pour dugal xaalis. Wala ngeen call customer care ci 133 pour xam lu gën a leer. Bu leen fàtte pour raxas seen loxo ak saabu saa yoo leen jëfandikoo xaalis. Toogal sa kër setal aaral sa boppa Qmoney suñu kalpe ñun ñoo xaala yoon bi ñeneen toppa
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now we're heading right on to the newspaper review. Like I said, we're joined by our colleague Mamadou Mbodj to help us analyze some of the stories that we have. You have the Fourier there?
Yeah. Let's take a look at the headline of the Fourier news, of the Point newspaper rather. Comium promises to settle dues amid suspension. Trade Ministry places temporal ban on flour exportation and others. IEC discusses nominations process requirement with CSOs ahead of December polls. Yes, Jennifer, that's what we have.
That's it. So moving on, the Standard. Gambian diplomat in Nigeria rejects oil negotiation allegations. Also, Comium urges Pura to lift suspension. Justice Minister not aware of conspiracy at TRRC, and also IEC announces nomination papers ready for presidential candidates, and new IT training center to bridge skills unemployment gaps. Gambia to assume ECOWAS Commission presidency. So that's all we have on Standard. So, Mr. Mbodj, thank you so much for joining us. We have Justice Minister not aware of conspiracy at TRRC. Are you aware of a conspiracy at the TRRC?
I do not know. Some people claim to be aware of a conspiracy at the TRRC. No, well, I think the very fact that the submission has been postponed twice, obviously that in itself would generate all sorts of talk, you know, the speculation. So there appears to be the thinking that somebody, somewhere, is really reluctant to receive the report. The minister has denied it. I do not see why not. Obviously, there's a question mark. Why not? I understand, for instance, that on the day that they were supposed to go and submit, that is the TRRC, well, by then, I think government had known that the report was incomplete. So they've asked for a complete report, which was quite interesting. But again, I sort of just went online and just looked at other truth commissions around the world. It was interesting that, for instance, in South Africa, well, we've got 18 volumes. They didn't have that. What they did was they submitted the first part, 4 or 5 volumes, something like that, around 1998, I read. But then the second part in 2003. So that is quite an interesting context there. So it seems that it is not unusual for commissions to submit part of the report and then bring the rest, as what I'm just recounting here in South Africa. So that's an interesting part.
Even though the ministry, Minister for Justice said the government is ready to receive the report, but still there are speculation going on right now that this is done on a personal ground, on a political ground. What do you think?
So far, what I've seen, the minister said the government is willing, prepared to receive the report in whole. That is really what the key is.
Yeah, because
that's the heart of the argument.
An interview with
in
this
whole
medium,
or in bits, in installments.
Yeah.
So apparently here the government says it wants the report in whole. To me, that is really what the point is now. Are there any political motivations? I do not know. What does that mean? I do not know. You probably have to go and talk to them. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, this is what I see. Because what would be the political motivations? There would be uncomfortable truths in there that would require on the president's side to take tough decisions. Well, that's leadership. I mean, he's going to face it anyway. Is it going to be now? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be two years later? I do not know. But he would have to face it anyway. So why try to dodge it now when knowing that it is just there, hovering like some dark cloud? When is it going to bust?
But we've also had Esa Jallo, an interview with this medium. That's the Standard newspaper. Esa said they are still compiling. They are not ready.
But this is
And
what
they
we're
do
saying.
not want to be blamed if something happens. Probably that's why they are requesting it as a whole.
But this is exactly what my point is. They haven't finished. They've got what? It's 18 volumes. It's really huge.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to do that. So I imagine that they were trying to submit them in chunks, as it were. So, but the government says it wants it in full and stuff like that. So that is true. They are not ready. That much we know. That's what they've just said. So the idea wasn't whether they're ready or not, but whether government would be willing to accept this report in installments. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, so like we always say, we're not here to make the decisions for the public. It's left to them to choose. Now we've put it in front of you. In other countries, they've received it in installments.
Well, I've seen it at least in South
Africa. In the Gambia, they are requesting it as a whole, and we do not know their reasons. Probably it's too delicate, and they want to just handle it as a whole. So we can't decide that.
Let's be honest here. Yeah. Different countries, different political dynamics, different political imperatives. So really, there's somewhere that the comparison would end.
Sure.
You know, there are certain things in common, but there are other differences. There are things that we're different on.
Yeah, so moving on, Gambia to assume ECOWAS Commission presidency. So what do you think this means for the Gambia, assuming the ECOWAS Commission presidency?
No, it depends on what we do. These things rotate. As it were, all member states would sooner or later, you know, be president. Yeah, it gives you some prestige, obviously. I imagine that under a former government, they wouldn't have done so because of the nature of that president. But now we've changed somewhat. We've got now some respectability. Now we are respected. So why not? Absolutely. So it depends on what you do with it. What is it that you can do? You know, as ECOWAS, we know the weaknesses of these regional bodies, especially with our own. So to me, it depends on what we do with it.
All right, so moving on as well, Ibrahima, IEC announces nomination papers ready for presidential candidates. We had a conversation with Ade Durami, and he talked about the fact that for him, it's not realistic when it comes to IEC actually requesting 5,000 signatures. For him, that's too much, because are they going to look at those papers to see if there's no repetition to scrutinize it, you know? So what's your take? Is it different or it's the same?
Yes, there would be that practical element, and we're always talking about the, what do you call it, the shortcomings in capacity in most other areas. So 5,000, I don't know, has it always been like this? Maybe I should have looked into it. Has it always been like this in past elections, as it were? Maybe it's not bad at all. I mean, it's just for the serious. You got to show us that you're serious. So to get 5,000 petitions, I understand the logistical difficulties, the practical difficulties, and all of it. But again, if you're serious, you want to come and run this country, man, this country is complicated. It's extremely difficult.
Why do you
so
say
show me that you can crack this one. Then I'll probably vote for you.
But
do you think getting 5,000 signatures is a proof to that? That's
what?
Getting 5,000 signatures, is that a proof to what you're saying?
Not necessarily a proof, but just an indication. But what would be a proof in that sense? It doesn't mean anything. What we just said is that logistically, that was why Ade was like, man, that's ridiculous, that's too much.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about it's a logistical nightmare, the practical difficulties. How do you do this? How do you get it? You know, and stuff like that. I said, yes, that's possibly a good challenge for you, because should you win, you want to run a country like the Gambia right now where we are. It's an extremely difficult stuff to do. It's an extremely difficult job. You have to jump around through hoops. It's an extremely difficult job to do.
Okay, but however, getting the 5,000 signatures, Ibrahim, might not be difficult if the IEC is not checking. Well, it might be the same people. That's what he was trying to put across.
The same thing.
We assume that they are going to do that. I mean, it's just the easy bit, I have to say this, just the easy bit to say, you know, we're not going to do it, this is not going to happen, that's not going to happen, this is not going to happen. They know what they're supposed to do. Remember, during the registrations, of course, there were hiccups here and there, you know, with the machines and all sorts of things. So that is why, in the end, I asked, you know, people I interviewed on this subject, I said, yes, we knew about the hiccups, we knew about certain things that shouldn't have happened, but overall, did it affect the integrity of the whole process? They said no. See, stuff like that. So here as well, we are going to have niggling stuff, snags here and there. We don't have a perfect system. I've just adjusted my brain to the reality. I'm not going to overhype expectations and then end up with disappointments. Oh God, I don't do that. So I've just adjusted my expectations to our reality.
They've also mentioned something very important. That's declaration of assets. I've also seen that here.
Oh, absolutely. I was just looking at, we just looked at all of it. But for others, there was an interesting bit. So because which category of people would be disqualified? We all know what they call the elephant in the living room. Now, everybody is asking, would the leader of the UDP be eligible to stand? Given the conviction still stands. And then, when you look at, say, the IAC yesterday, when they were asked about the category of people disqualified, they wouldn't go into that. They refer you to Section 62. There is a section, it's 62, subsection 3, I think, I don't know, something like that, where somebody who's been convicted cannot vie for that. You wouldn't be eligible. So a lot of people, yes, you have lawyers are talking, I've heard all sorts of talk. So this is really the heart of the matter. This is the most interesting bit about these presidential nominations to come.
Yeah, but we have an independent judiciary now. So, you know, whatever happens and it reaches the courts, hopefully it will be settled independently.
It is certainly the perception, let me put it that way. It is certainly the perception that we have an independent
but there has
judiciary,
been evidence that it
does
exist. The evidence is there.
Oh, absolutely. We've had 1 or 2 cases where we have seen this. But, you know, the situation, all I can say is that there is a perception that the judiciary is independent. That's all I have seen here. Nothing can ever prove a wider point, if you know what I mean. 1, 2, 3 cases. It really never be absolute proof of a wider point. It could be a mixed picture. We do not know. So one must have an open mind.
Sure. What do you have there, Ibrahim?
Oh, let's take a look at the Trade Ministry places temporal ban on flour exportation and others. Mr. Mboch.
What did you say?
Temporal.
Temporal ban?
Yes.
What would a temporal ban look like? I do not know. I can understand a temporary ban, but I honestly cannot understand a temporal ban.
Okay.
Temporal means earthly. You use it, the opposite, the antonym of temporal would be spiritual. It means earthly things, or time. The opposite of permanent is temporary, not temporal.
We're having a grammar class here.
Definitely.
But that's what's on the paper anyway. That's what's on.
Fine, but
yes,
that's one
it's
point.
right there.
So 1 point. So yes, the temporary ban on flour. So apparently, that's what scarcity of flour in this country, because the neighboring countries now they sell the better prices. So people traders are taking it over there
and sending it to a neighboring country.
So they've decided to
which is causing a lot of problems in the Gambia.
Scarcity, for instance, and then bread, the price of bread. You know how much that can arouse, you know, public resentment and stuff.
Yeah, so due to time constraints, I think we'll just deal with this last headline and then we'll let you go. We have new IT training center to bridge skills unemployment gaps, youth unemployment. This is another center coming up. Hope it will be able to change the narrative. We have all the other centers currently and young people are still taking the back way anyway.
Yes. These are sort of 2 different processes. The last time I checked, when it comes to these tertiary institutes, we have about, what, 75, 73, 75, something like that. How many of them are sort of IT-based institutes, I do not know. But any to come in, join the market, not bad at all. But what kind of skills are you bringing? How would you train them? I used to run an IT institute, QIT, so we know the challenges there. So one hopes that these people will be ready for the challenges. Then we can deliver the relevant skills at the right level, you know. So absolutely, if we are going to add more, brilliant. But again, how are you going to be different? Have your
From the
standards.
existing
That's it.
ones. That's
Have
the
the
thing.
standards. Have a high standards,
Yeah.
and just be honest to the spirit of educating, training, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, even though if you have skills and you do not practicalize it, at the end of the time it becomes useless, Mr. Mboj. We've seen many people sitting on their skills and at the same time they embark on the back way.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen all sorts of things. In fact, at the criteria, we tell people all these skills that you're learning when you leave here, whether you have a job or you don't, keep on practicing them, otherwise you will lose your skills. Like all kinds of skills, they need constant practice. Imagine a footballer, a brilliant footballer, you don't go and do your training. When you are asked to play in the cup final, you'll be rubbish. So all skills, you need to constantly practice them, constantly rehearse them, otherwise you lose them. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
But here, when people just learn in what I call in a utilitarian way, I'm just going to read so that I will pass. Afterwards, when I've passed, that's it, I'm done. Everything. When it comes to books, we only read books, because we have an exam, so there's a test, and then when everything is done, we think we know it, we are done. I mean, talk to the person a few years afterwards, they'll tell you, oh boy, that was a long time ago, I can't remember. You never learned.
Yeah.
When you learn it, it's for life.
Exactly.
When you learn it,
Yes.
it's for life.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Cormio.
Yeah.
Well, according to some of their management team, they said after a successful discussion with Pura, they are still giving a suspension.
Well, then that is self-evidently false. You cannot call it a successful negotiation because afterwards they suspended it. So the negotiation wasn't successful, unfortunately.
Yeah.
When you look at the facts, as they are. Well, Pura is a regulatory body. They must have their reasons why from that notice. Remember, they gave them notice. From that notice, they moved on to the suspension. They must have their reasons.
I wonder
And
how
with this,
they
I
also
trust them.
allowed this money to accumulate for this entire
Yeah.
period. Sometimes I'm just
according
wondering.
to some of the points mentioned, COVID-19 is part of
Affected.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, COVID-19 is part of it because things were not moving.
Now, that is
But
very
GSM
interesting because
operators-
what we know around the world, that truly GSM operators...
GSM operators
they
benefited
made
more.
so
You know
much.
why? When I was at home and I just used to come to work every Saturday, I'm always online. And what do I was using internet to do that. So for me, it does not really tally. I don't get it. So for me, I'm just asking why.
And logically as well, if it hit them, now let's ask AfriCell, let's ask QCell. Were they also hit
Affected.
by how much? How did it go on?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that COVID thing. Of course, we all understand the impact of COVID on businesses and all the rest of it. But please, let us not overstretch it. We don't want some people to use it as a pretext for not doing what they're supposed to do. And you know that in the marketplace, some people will always try to do that sort of thing. I trust people.
Yeah, so probably maybe Pura can also talk to us about how they get to regulate these GSM operators in relation to how some of these debts get to accumulate, because at some point it shouldn't reach this stage where they have to be given a notice and eventually suspended. That needs to be understood as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
One would prefer that obviously it shouldn't get to a stage
Yes.
where things are just too accumulative to do so. And certainly I will agree with you that perhaps there should be more transparency
In relation
their
to
procedures.
Sure.
How do they actually keep watch? That
We
watch
need to know.
going? It will be interesting. They will be transparent about this.
Time is
Watch
against
Yeah,
us,
it
but it's
is.
also important for them to take this kind of a step so that organizations will also understand we have a regulatory body here.
According to law, that's it.
Yes.
If the law says A, I follow A. If it says B, I follow B. It doesn't matter who you are, really.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mamadou Mboj, for joining us on the newspaper review. It's always good to have you here, and we had sort of a grammar lesson there on temporal.
Oh, yeah.
temporally.
Temporal.
Anyway, we will go for a short.
The semantic.
Yes, we will go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we will be joined by Seni Mcc, founder Safe Heaven Foundation, and she'll be taking us through the work that her foundation is doing in relation to infertility. Do stay tuned.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back, viewers, from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And like I mentioned, Ibrahima, we're joined by Saini Mcise, and she's the founder of Safe Heaven Foundation. And with her foundation, she's been doing a lot in relation to supporting women who suffer infertility, or even beyond, you know, anything that has to do with women's health, reproductive health. She is a champion in relation to that. So today she will be taking us through the work that she's doing with her foundation, being a gender champion, and just being everywhere, you know, when it comes to women's development.
Yes. You're welcome to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, Jainaba.
Good morning.
Thank you for inviting me to the show.
Yeah.
Like you said, my name is Saini Mcise. I am the founder and CEO of Safe Heaven Foundation. Our foundation was established in 2017. And what we basically do is we raise awareness on infertility. We teach people about the causes of infertility, both male factor and female factor. And we also try to fight the stigma that is associated with infertility. As you know, we live in a society where infertility is seen as a taboo. People don't talk about it. And whenever it happens in a home, the woman is always the one to be blamed. We also fight that because nowadays it's 50-50. It can be the male factor or the female factor.
Yes, sure. Sorry, I just want to make this clear. You know, when you talk about infertility, the mentality that people tend to have is women. Exactly. Especially if you're married to a family for a very long time without having any child, all they think it's the woman. So it can happen to both men and women.
Yes, it can happen to both men and women. And what we have noticed since we established this foundation is it's only the women that goes to the clinics to get tested and, you know, things like that. And when you go to the clinic to get tested and they don't find anything, there is nothing they can do but ask you to bring your spouse. And most of the time it's really difficult for men to go because of the ego, because of the mentality they have. Even if the woman goes to the clinic and get tested and she is a problem, like, you should support her whenever she's going to get treated or to get medication or whatever, anything. The spouse should always be with her, but it doesn't happen in our society, and it's taking us way back.
So Saini, I want you to tell us your story. You know, I know you've been sharing your story. You've shared it with me personally. You know, it's not something that you're hiding from. You know, can you just share your experience as a victim, you know, considering the stigma, family, you know, your personality, self-esteem and everything? How did it affect it?
Yeah, to me, when it happened to me, I have always felt that it should start somewhere. Someone has to come up and start speaking about it so that people would know and have the strength to also speak about their stories. For mine, when I got married and I was trying to conceive, and it was hard for me to conceive. And I went through, so if I tell you, I have been through all the clinics, the private clinics, even to Senegal. But it's unexplained. There is something we call unexplained infertility. Like you get tested and they don't see what is anything, but it's not coming. And that is the most painful thing. You know, at least if you get tested and they find out, okay, this is what she is having, we're going to try and, you know, treat her. But when they don't know what is going on, it's hard because you don't know what to do. So that was the case, and I started getting depressed, and I started, you know, people started asking questions, you know, kanya am yo hana bugulo am dom, oh yeah, oh hana ninga neka a career woman, mota ngay nan family planning, yeah, you know, things like that. And it was really not something that was easy for me. And when it comes to the spousal support too, it was lacking, you know, so many things. And it got to a point where sometimes I wouldn't even feel like waking up, you know, or even if I wake up, I would just be on the bed, wouldn't even switch on the light.
So you were so depressed to the...
Yes, I was so depressed to the core, and it affected me a lot. But at some point, I looked at myself and I said, no, this is not the way it should be, you know. I am not the only one going through this. And then I met a woman who was also going through it for 9 years. And she was so suicidal to a point where I was even scared for her. So I said to myself, no, I have to do something, you know. Even if it takes me to be the guinea pig, I would do it, you know, come out with my story so that I can help other people, you know,
you have to be
struggling
strong
with it.
for them.
Exactly. So that was how I spoke to my parents about establishing a foundation to raise awareness on infertility and, you know, stuff like that. And then, yeah, and then I spoke to some young people very determined to back me, and then that was when I established the foundation. And ever since, alhamdulillah, we have seen a lot of changes. We have impacted a lot of lives, because people get married and they don't have kids for 5 years, and they didn't know that the problem was they could not calculate when to ovulate, you know, things like that. So we have been talking to people and teaching them, and alhamdulillah, things have been positive, and some of them have been pregnant. They are now having their child, you know. Alhamdulillah, I can't say more.
Let's talk about the whole process of getting married, and at the same time your spouse supporting you. But in most of our societies, it doesn't happen like that. With all the stress that you have, society will also inject another stress on you. So how does it feel? And when you are sensitizing people on this, what do you communicate to them?
First of all, it is very essential when you are advocating for something to come up with your life experience. I speak about my stories, and then I tell them the facts. You know, it is a very difficult journey. Infertility is one of the most difficult journeys, especially if you're living in Africa, you know. Technology-wise, we don't have most of the stuff. You know, if you're in Europe or in other parts of Africa, let's say Nigeria or even Senegal, you can do IVF, even though it's expensive, but they're doing it. You can do IUI, you know, but we don't have that here.
What is IVF and IUI?
IVF is a process where they take your husband's semen, yeah, and take eggs from you, and then mash them together, put it in an incubator for some time. They take it back and then put it back in you.
Okay, and it works?
Yes, it works. IUI is when the doctors take your husband's semen and put it inside you, close your uterus to help you conceive easier. We don't have that here. We don't have certain medications like the Gonal F. It's how do I call it? It's a medication that helps women that have ovulation issues.
Okay.
Yeah. We only have Pregnil here, and it's only according to my findings, because I used to buy it from there. I used to buy it from one of the big pharmacies here.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to, but at least we have machines like the transvaginal ultrasound that that has the camera that goes inside.
Just to check.
To check if everything is okay or not. But a lot of women don't know that is existing here. And financially, they don't have the financial means to go to private clinics to get that.
You know, my problem is, I don't think only that machine is enough. We need to have, because when it comes to infertility, it's a very sensitive case.
Exactly.
So, and women are related to this more. You've taken us through certain things. Is it the IVF or something? Why do you have to go through this process? There is a reason why you have to do IVF. There is a reason that you have to do this and that.
Yes. Sometimes doctors would advise you, if your fallopian tubes are both blocked, you know, it can be due to so many complications. If your fallopian tubes are blocked, then you don't have the chance of conceiving naturally. You understand? Because the sperm and the semen meets at the fallopian tube for
ovulation?
No, not for ovulation. For how do we say it again?
Yeah.
For pregnancy to occur. You understand? So if your fallopian tubes are blocked, the semen cannot pass through to get to your fallopian tube.
Sure.
So the doctors would advise you to go and do IVF. You understand? And if IUI, if you're having ovulation problems, you know, they would also advise you to go and do IUI, things like that. But we don't have those things here. So it's really difficult for women that are trying to conceive.
Yeah, but I see you took pictures with our First Lady, Fatoumata Barbaro, and I know she's trying to also do some work when it comes to infertility, and you're doing the same. So I just want to know if there's any form of partnership between the two, just to make this easier.
Yeah, we are trying to work that out. Alhamdulillah, we have a First Lady who's very passionate about this. And as young people, when we have programs or events and invite her and she comes, it means a lot to us. Do you understand? Things like that never happened here. So we are trying to see if we can, you know, have a way to partner. But whenever we have events and we invite her, she comes, and then she does whatever she needs to do on the ground. So,
so what is your organization doing to help provide certain things in the Gambia?
Okay, we partner with a lot of institutions because we feel that we cannot do it alone. You understand? As a foundation, we need to partner with other organizations that are doing similar things. And not only in the Gambia, we also partner with the University of Sheffield.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they funded an event that we were supposed to organize, like Fertility Awareness Week, but unfortunately coronavirus came. Yeah, so we couldn't do it. But we were able to get the attention of two renowned professors in UK and some PhD students at the University of Sheffield. They were all going to come. Apart from the Fertility Awareness Week, we were also going to do research because we know in Gambia statistics is a problem. Sure. Yeah, and we want to know anything that has to do with infertility all around the Gambia. You know, what are the main female causes of infertility, the main male causes of infertility, you know, stuff like that. And it's very hard to get that here. So we have people that are willing to come down to Gambia, and we do a research regarding that.
Yeah, so Seni, if a individual, if a woman specifically is watching, because I know men, it's hard for them to accept that this is what they're going through. Even if that is the case, they do not accept. Studies have shown that this is not something that I'm making up sitting here. Well, so just talk to your fellow women in relation to how you were able to fight this and come out of that bubble that you were in, hating the whole world. You know, you talked about it so easy. You decided to just come and set up this organization, but it took processes.
Yes.
It took, you know, some sort of self-actualization, you know, and all of that. So, so how did you do it? Take us through that, because there might be someone watching out there going through the same thing and need some form of advice in relation to how to get back up.
Okay. The first thing you need to do is to accept. If you have gone to the clinic and it's you're having issues, it's to accept the fact that you're having fertility issues. But it's to also put it at the back of your mind that infertility is not the end of the world. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you will never conceive. It only means that you will need help medically to conceive. You know, those two things you need to accept and put at the back of your mind. The other thing is, do not let anybody or any individual stress you, put too much pressure on you to a point where you feel worthless. No, having fertility issues doesn't mean that you're less of a woman. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. You have a problem, make sure you go to the doctors to help you continuously. You don't have to take your medications at some point and then you feel depressed and you know it's not going to happen again. No. It takes you back. Concentrate on yourself. Put yourself first. You know, self-love, self-worth is very important, especially if you are going through infertility. It helps you a lot. If you become strong for yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm not going to let anyone break me. and my infertility journey is not going to break me. It's not going to stop me from doing anything that I have to do to survive or to be strong financially.
Okay. So do you do conduct counseling classes for these women?
Yeah, we have an open door policy.
Okay.
I get calls any time of the day.
Okay.
It's an open door policy. Anybody that wants to talk to me, I speak to them. I give free advices. Nothing, no payments, no nothing.
Okay.
We just love doing what we do, and we make sure we do a lot of research. We are not medical doctors. I'm not a medical doctor, but I can speak to you in medical terms that you think I am a medical doctor because I have passion for it, and I take my time every day to do research about anything that has to do with infertility, and yeah.
So you do wax is a family jikar.
What before we go there?
Because lolo time it's important.
What?
Support the family support just before you come in. I think that has to come in as well, because sometimes when issues as such happen, it's the family of the individual that you're married to, as well as your own family sometimes putting so much pressure on you. So what do you have to tell these individuals as well? It's important.
Yes, it's very important. For example, someone nit ñëw sëy si seen kër and she's going through it, whether she talks about it or not, it's always your responsibility to make her feel that she is not under pressure. But it doesn't happen like that in our society. It's, I mean, they ask you every day, what are you waiting for? You understand? Or you even, I have instances where women call me crying, I was just having an argument with my, one lady told me, I had just had an argument with my my sister-in-law, and then she told me, you're a worthless woman. You understand? Even kids are more, how do I say? Hala yi sax la ëpp njëriñ. You understand? Parce que yang fi just eating our food, mënuloo am doom. Things like it breaks people. And it should not happen. And this is why we are fighting every day to see that people get the right information that they need to change the mindsets of people. Because it wouldn't kill you physically, but it can kill you mentally and emotionally. And it should not happen. People need to be, we have a lot of work to do. We have a long way to go, to change the mindsets of the people. I have seen
instances whereby a man said his wife cannot bear a child, and he married a second wife, and still now they didn't have a child. So I think the man needs to go and check himself.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the use of contraceptives. Sometimes they said they can delay a person from having a child. Maybe if a person uses a lot of contraceptive pills, I mean, it can cause problems. Is that true?
Okay, if you use, for instance, if you have hormonal imbalance, as a woman who is married, and I'm talking in that aspect, if you have hormonal imbalance, most of the time they give you these contraceptives to reverse the problem. Do you understand? They give it to you and ask you to use it for 3 months or 4 months so that it can reverse the problem. But if you were using it before you got married, and then you stopped using it as soon as you got married, it takes time for it to come off your system. And it should not take too long to get off your system. So it can be used whilst you're having fertility issues, and to reverse the problem.
I think there are just misconceptions when it comes to contraceptives. I did a story on it recently, engaging the UNFPA. There are just misconceptions when it comes to these things. So I guess if you go deep down and understand what contraceptives are meant for, you would really understand that some of what you just mentioned is just a concept. It's just a myth that people have, but that is not the case. Because they've done research in relation to this, but it's something that is hard for people to actually believe. I understand it when he says this, because
it should not take time to leave your system when you stop using it.
That's the thing. So finally, what message do you have for women out there, families, stakeholders in relation to taking infertility issues seriously, and just any stakeholder who can just support when it comes to this?
I would love to speak to the policymakers, the Ministry of Health, the government. Unfortunately, infertility is not prioritized, but we are working on that. you know, with the relevant authorities to at least have it in their policy documents and stuff like that. So, and we are seeing a way forward, alhamdulillah. But when it comes to the society and the spouses, you know, jëkkër you know, goro yeeg yooyu noonu, I would like to say it is not an easy journey. And it can happen to anyone. Doom yàlla ko dee joxe, you know. If it is not meant to be, it is not meant to be. And for those women who are passing through menopause and it has never happened, it is not meant to be, and it is okay. It doesn't reduce anything from you. It doesn't devalue you. You know, your worth will not reduce because you don't have a child. And having a child naturally is not the only way to have a child. There are so many other ways. You can adopt. You understand? You can adopt children. You can anything that has to deal with you feeling worthless. It's my concern, and I don't want women to go through that. So I am appealing to you to put yourself first, love yourself first. Your self-worth is very important. You know, don't let anyone or anybody put you in a corner where they, you know, pin you down. Do not let anyone do that to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And the njëkkee jàppale leen ñu jigéen lañ ay xale yu ndaw lañ di sëy, understand nga doom yàlla ko day joxe su waree am rek dafa am su waruta am du am.
Ibrahima man sa ko gis seeni yow ak seeni num jeekee xam ne self-worth.
Definitely.
Self-worth is part of her priorities. Wherever you see her, you know, she's looking good, looking after herself, you know, and I think that is just the thing that you need to do just to feel good, anything that makes you feel good. Thank you so much for the work that you do. And you know she's a 2019 gender champion because of the work that the work that she's been doing with Safe Haven Foundation. Looking forward to other conversations with you in relation to infertility. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me.
All right, so we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we will head right on to our new segment, which is called Beauty and Fashion, and we'll be joined by stylish Usainu Gay. Do stay tuned.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. Now we have a new segment called Beauty and Fashion. Anything that has to do with looking good, you know, proper matching, outfit matching and all of that. Tune in every Thursday right here, and we will tell you, give you tips in relation to beauty and fashion. Then you kunyo gistay, hamne.
Definitely.
Wow. Welcome to the program, Usainu.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer and Balde. It's good to be here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically...
I think this is the second time.
This is the second time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the second time. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm sure that some of the fashion lovers are also happy to, you know, see this segment to be part of the morning show.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you're so white lan la.
Small white, cham in a Bible.
Cham na ba lan la.
So the man himself, he is head closet,
Hussein. Yes.
So more I mean Monica behind everything.
Behind Solo.
Jenaba ak Balde.
Yes. So first of all, I think it's important that we start with this. You know, beauty and fashion. You know, we don't really experience winter as in winter in the Gambia.
Yes.
But it's coming up. You know, the summer is ending soon, and the November, December is coming January, and it will be so cold. So it is also important that you give us tips in relation to fashion choice.
Yeah, basically, Gambia, the Gambian weather is is still in summer,
Yes.
So basically, when it comes to fashion and all of that, when it comes to what to wear, most of the time is based on body sizes and preference, But for the fashion tips that I want to give people out there when it comes to clothing, especially during the summer, because I believe that we are still in summer in the Gambia. So, when it comes to menswear, basically people will tell you when it comes to summer, and people will tell you, you can wear short. Yes, it's good to wear short during summer and all of that, but I think that is old now.
Okay.
So there are new things, fashion, things are changing, we have new things coming up, so many things is happening. So for my, go-to fashion summer this time, is like, t-shirts, shirts, but not just simple shirts. You have floral shirts that you can put on, tuck it in with, chinos, trousers that you can rock during the summer. If you have that, white sneakers, as part of your collections, rock it with on this summer. I'm sure Jenna will say that I'm kind of biased when it comes to fashion.
You are. I always
saying
tell you. Mom, go
So, and during this summer, basically, it's summer, it's hot down there in the Gambia. So for women, fabric is very important when it comes to, weather conditions in the Gambia, because it's not yet winter in the Gambia, but soon we will get there. So when choosing fabric, choose light fabric when it comes to, it's summertime. Choose light fabric that you can rock anytime during the day, and then you will feel comfortable as well. Men too, you can wear that light suit during the summer. Suits are always my thing. You can wear a suit anytime, but then fabric difference, because these pattern fabrics that are really light, you don't really need it in the summer. But when it comes to the light fabric, when it comes to suits, you can rock it on, style it, do whatever you want.
Let's talk about the winter, the Gambian winter.
Exactly. So the Gambian winter, I love winter, because basically when I was even starting my brand, I started during winter. That's why I came up with the hoodies and stuff. So hoodies are my go-to thing, but then layers as well. So because light rain, because I talk about light fabric and then deep fabrics that you can use during the winter, during the summer. But the winter too, you can wear this hard fabrics to make sure, because it's sometimes really cold, especially sometime around December, November, we are really getting there. So rock that, that layers that you can put on. Then the hoodies are there as well, the suits. Basically for me, I'm always like, I'm a strong advocate of your personal choices. Because most of the time I don't dictate. I'm a stylist. I advise people on what to wear during the day and all of that, but sometimes I don't dictate them. I make sure I understand what they really want to wear, and then I will advise them based on that. Be you, wear your own style, but consider the fact that we are in summer, we are in summer, or we are in winter. You consider all of those things. So layers are important. Layers are hoodies, jackets that you can rock during the summer. Turtlenecs, they are beautiful. You can put it on.
I love
and then rock it on
turtlenecks.
anytime
I love them
as well. They are really nice as well.
If you know fashion, definitely. I like the way he is analyzing all these things.
Yes, it is.
So let's talk about matching colors. Colors are also very important.
Yes, colors are very, very important. I could remember during the Mr. Gambia, because I think the Mr. Gambia too happened just during the week, during the weekend. So you have, men battling for fashion and all of that. So one of these contestants really talk about, colors and all of that. So I love that area. So updates on Mr. Gambia as well, we will be giving you that today. So, matching colors are important when it comes, because Balde, when I first have an interaction with you, you told me about your, how you like pink. So there was this time on Twitter, people, were coming on board. Someone wear this pink, and then, I think she went somewhere, and then people were telling him that, like, pink is for women and all of that. But for me, like, pink, you can wear pink. It depends on how you wear them. So if you wear like bold colors, these are pink, red. For guys, you can just add like black, because we have neutral colors. We have neutral colors that are black, gray, white, that you can kill any color. For example, people will tell you that pink is, bold, yellow is bold, red is bold. You can match that, combine them with maybe neutral colors that are black, that are white.
Man dama dem uti stylish bu jigen.
No.
Stylish bu jigen like uti because mu fi rek di wax nan góor yi ni man jigen ni ñun duñu so.
No la wara demé.
Non la wara demé. Anyway, we've seen that with Mr. Gambia, we see men.
Exactly.
It's not very usual. The last time Ida Bidwell was here talking about the fact that she's decided to also give men an opportunity to actually do this. I know people associate it with certain things in Gambia, but that is not the case, It's beyond catwalk and all of that. It has to do with talent.
Exactly. Like for the longest, we've been seeing women getting into pageantry. They've been winning prizes and all of that. I never had the opportunity during my modeling days to venture into male pageantry in the Gambia. At some point, I was handpicked to represent Gambia outside, because I think that is not done. But if you have pageants like male pageants in the Gambia, like Mr. Gambia, people, men can come forward to compete for this. It's not only about the competition as well, because you could see each of these, contestants were talking about platforms that are really important. They were talking about, different topics, platforms that, get deep into me. Someone talked about mental health. I think Tijan, who is actually the winner of the Mr. Gambia, congratulations. By the way, Tijan Sinyan, he won Mr. Gambia. So he talked about mental health, and I'm sure most of people that were there could able to relate what mental health is about. So, different platforms were discussed during that Mr. Gambia. Someone talk about tribalism, someone talk about, COVID-19, so many platforms. So it's not about catwalk, fashion, and all of that. So they have a cause, they have a role to play, and it's more of beauty with purpose. They were, battling for this. So I think it's important. And it's all giving you, like, this is actually giving opportunity to young men that are, that love fashion, that wants to come forward and compete. It's actually a career for so many people. So kudos to Ida Bidwell and then the organizers of the Mr. Gambia that we then went home with a cash prize of $200,000. That could do a lot.
It could do a lot.
So
let's go back to fashion tips.
Yes.
This is very important. Sometimes you talk to people and they're like, you cannot combine clothes that are both pattern. But sometimes I see internationally, celebrities dress and they combine two patterns and it works. So I don't know, does it depend on how the design is? Or what does it depend on?
Sometimes, because if you see the celebrities, most of the time, because I think they wear everything. They've worn so many things.
Yes.
So sometimes they want to come out from their comfort zone and try new things. Most of the celebrities would want to do something that people would talk about. Even if, it means breaking the fashion.
Look at Kim Kardashian at the Met Gala. What do you think about her outfit?
I love her outfit. For Kim Kardashian, people are always looking forward to her outfit.
Yes.
Kim, I love Kim. She always wants to be talked about.
Okay, so people said Kim wore that because she didn't want to do her makeup and her hair, but I realized she did her makeup.
Yes, if you watch the video, she did her makeup, she did everything, and then cover her face, got her face covered. So Kim is amazing. She always want to, I think that's the attention that she was looking for. That's the attention that she needed, and she got it. She won. Maybe people were talking about, I see memes talking about her and then making fun out of that, but she was happy about it. She talked about it, everything. Kim would wear everything and people will still talk about. So if you see how, celebrities will come out of their comfort zone and then do things that people will talk about. So I think for normal people like maybe you and I, of course.
Let's not mix patterns.
Yes, we don't.
Excuse me, you're koi wahal?
No.
Koi wahal la la.
So I'm just talking about the basics.
No, Jarud Hulo. Who say? Jarud Hulo.
So we'll discuss that later.
Man rir na de.
Rir nga di.
Moom yeguleo.
Buñ duggé ci Kim ak ki.
Man
dama wara
Yo xamoo Kim Kardashian.
No, man dama wara
when it comes to Kylie Jenner, Kim's younger sister, Kylie also appeared on the New York Fashion Week differently with her, belly. She's pregnant, I think 8 months pregnant.
Oh, really?
She was able to rock, look good on that belly, So you see celebrities how they want to do new things and then people will still talk about them.
For me, I think my favorite from year before last was actually Lady Gaga
when
she came up with the multiple outfits.
So you see how they want to evolve. She's not there this time. So Kim took the sign this year. So other events happened, like pageants in Nigeria. We have the most beautiful girl in Ghana. Ghana's most beautiful. We have winners with go home with cash prizes and a car and all of that. So you have other pageants that are happening in the Gambia as well. They are yet to be announced. And then Fashion Week in Gambia too is happening very soon. With Adama Diop as the new face of the Fashion Week in Gambia. I think most of us would know who Adama Diop is, an international model based in the Netherlands.
Before you leave, I wouldn't do justice if I do not ask him this. Recently, we've seen that those calls that the nurses use in offices, in their offices when they're conducting operations and all of that. Come school singa de sol si taw. Come you nurses they use pour def operation. Mo xew ci dëkk bi légui di mom la nit ñi di sol di ko fashion. So dama bëgg laajte rek ndax xëj na ñoom fashion bu applicable foofu ñun ñu bëgg ko def fii ndax xëj na sometimes that they mëna dem tamit.
It's working for some people though. Yes. Because I think most of the time it's personal choices and trend. So people like me, we look at trends. But most of the time, we don't get deep into trends. Because at
is it a good idea to follow trend?
No, it's not bad, but they're not totally depend on trend. Because you need to have your personal choices as well. So we will still go back to Kim. You know, people want to... Kim started wearing that because I think that skulls that you were talking about was designed by Yeezy. That is... Kanye West designed that and Kim was actually the the first people that had to wear that. So I think we'll still go back to her, and then people want to see what that celebrities are doing, and they want to come up with it. So Kim is always doing that. Kim started wearing that, and the Kardashian family used to wear that, and then people want to do that. I think I have one at home. And I think we should all get one.
We should all get at some point. For some reason, I'm not a trend follower.
Yeah, actually, you don't need to follow trend.
Yeah, do you follow trend, Ibrahima?
Who, me? Yeah, I do.
You follow trend?
Sometimes you need to, because you are going somewhere and then people actually doing that. You have to be your own, but at still point you need to be updated on the things when it comes to fashion. For me, I follow trends, but not all the time, because I have my personal choices. I have my style as well, and then I don't follow trend all the time, but I try to look at it and then make it my own. So even if I'm wearing shoes by Kim or by Yeezy, I tend to wear it based on how I want to wear it, not how they did it. Exactly.
And another thing that is very important, Moine, most of these products that come to Gambia are fake. What do you have to say in relation to people wearing fake belts, fake brands, LV, Gucci bi mung fi barite fake la do original. Man, okay, the issue is that I used to kind of do it before, but I have one of my mentors, she really hates it. So she tells me, little fake,
but Jennifer,
you can't wear this. So at some point, I started thinking about it deep, and I just got rid of it. So when I'm buying anything that is branded, and I know that really this is not I avoid it as much as possible, because they feel guilty that I'm wearing something that is branded, but it's not really the original.
Jennifer, exactly. We'll still come back to the celebrity issue. Of course, Jennifer, you don't have to do that. Jennifer,
that's what I'm saying.
Balde too. People are looking up to you. You know what you wear and all of that.
Yes.
So I think most of the time is our pocket. It depends on our pocket, because of course there are originals, there are fake as well. So there are fashion shops in the Gambia that sells original products when it comes to designs and all of that.
Why sometimes you fake la?
Sometimes
because
you fake.
Original Gucci, how do you determine the original Gucci?
No, determine original, because so said it of the faker. It all looks the same, man.
It all looks the same, but brands sometimes they have codes. So if you check properly, they have code that you can type online, and then you tend to see whether it is original or fake. So most of the original brands you will know if you just scan it. Now with technology, you can just use your Q scanning, and then you can scan something, and then you can see whether it is original or fake. But people are not aware of that, maybe. And then sometimes you can understand that by holding that texture of that material. You can, if you feel, you can sometimes feel that it is not original. But still, we are in Gambia, and then income levels is different.
Okay, then let's be buying products that are not branded to be on the safer side.
So, and you cannot tell
like Zara, you can get Zara, you can afford Zara.
Yeah, you can afford
products
Zara.
Like
I don't
Zara,
want to mention
Pull
any
and
fashion
Bear.
boutiques.
I'm just giving an example.
Yes, exactly.
These are products that you can get, and they're not like really, really expensive, and they're branded. But issues like LV and Gucci, you wear it in the Gambia here, and people will believe you?
People are doing it, and most of the time I just look at it and I know this is not original.
Exactly.
People like me, we know. Not that because I have them all, but then I've been following. I know what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is not good.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's personal choice.
Anyway, due to time constraints, we might have to let you go. Looking forward to another session with you. This has been fun.
Yes, thank you so much, Jennifer and Valde, for having me. Stay tuned for this every week. We'll be giving you fashion updates, fashion tips, what to wear and all of that. I'm sure you fashion lovers are, are looking forward to this segment.
Yeah, why bias be nak yow jigé goor yi rek la fi nekkal ñun jigéen ñi ñun doñu dé nango solal. Okay, we will go for a short break and when we come back we will join by Skengman Sweezy and today his guest is Uche Media. We'll be right back.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, Q Money and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from Ria directly into your Q Money account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any Q Money agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, Q Power and other Q Money services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Send mobile money service boo leen gën a tàmm defati nañ ko de. Léegi mun ngaa jënd cash power ak sa Q Money account te doo ci fay dara. Waaw te doo ci fay dara. Dara gënuta yomba lu jarut dara. Commencé leen jënd seen cash power si waxtu bu leen neex te doo leen si am benn jafe-jafe ak service yu leen Q Money amal. Ak Q Money yombalal sa àddina. Doxantul si Q Money agent bu leen gën a jege pour dugal xaalis. Wala ngeen call customer care ci 133 pour xam lu gën a leer. Bu leen fàtte pour raxas seen loxo ak saabu saa yoo leen jëfandikoo xaalis. Toogal sa kër setal aaral sa boppa. Q Money suñu kalpe ñun ñoo xaala yoon bi ñeneen toppa.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information.
Sherry.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning, and we're joined by Skengman Sweezy with Uche Made It. Ubil na for Uche Media House, Sitanga Tanga. So it's Uche Made It.
I thought we no longer have Uche Made It. We have
Uche Media. But you never know, he might expand.
Exactly. For real, man. Communicate. Good morning, guys. No, we're looking unique today.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned at all, man. Good morning, guys. I'm Skengman Sweezy, and in the studio with me today is Uche. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, man.
It's a bigger pleasure on this side, and I'm grateful for everybody watching.
For real, man. We're going to talk about KMC today. Not Kanifi Municipal Council, but King of My City.
King of My City.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the EP, man.
What do you
have an EP not long ago, and the EP is fire, bro. I'm not going to lie. My favorite song from the EP is Gao Anthem, and I can't kill myself.
I can't kill myself.
Let's talk about the EP, bro.
Well, good morning to everybody out there. First of all, my name is Uche, your favorite boy, Uche, and KMC, King of My City. It's just a masterpiece that everybody's talking about right now on every social media platform, on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever. And it's been a great pleasure for me working on a project as big as this, as heavy as this. And if you say your favorite songs like I Can't Kill Myself and Gao, then you know how heavy the EP is.
Exactly, bro.
I Can't Kill Myself, Mom, is making the numbers it should. It's streaming even more than any of the other songs on the EP list. And by God's grace, we're just hitting it on the right track. I can't explain exactly in details like what the EP is all about, but for anybody who has not and you want to, trust me, it's self-explanatory.
Now, let's talk about the EP itself. We all know you're a producer and an artist as well. And I know you put more work and more energy in your work that you do for yourself. And same thing for other artists as well. But compared to what you do as an artist as well, how many weeks or how many months did it take you compiling the entire EP together and working on some songs like that? Because they had deep message in it, man.
Deep messages?
Yeah.
Funnily, the last song I recorded of the EP was a month before the EP came out. And that's the song you like, I Can't Kill Myself. So I've been working on the songs for a long time now. The only song that was longest in the EP was the one I did with Attack, Instagram. I recorded that song with him since last year. But I just took it out of the too many songs I had and just put it as part of the compilation just so I can have a future on the EP.
That's a good one as well. And I've seen you work with other artists in the Gambia. And then I just want to know, in few seconds, how is your working relationship with other Gambian artists as well? Are you guys really good in terms of working with other Gambian artists, or it's just been you on your lane, doing your own thing on your own as well?
Oh, Skank. I don't have to explain a lot. Man, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And anybody who's watching this show right now know how much effort I put into making Gambian music, what Gambian music is right now. And I'm not just talking about production. I'm not just talking about artistry. I'm not talking about songwriting. So I know the lot I had to offer, which I did. But it's only safe to say that sometimes you work too much for people and then you don't do exactly the same for yourself. It means you're a fool. So how can I love you, Skeng, if I don't love myself first?
Real, it's a real fact, man. But I'm not going to say much. We're going to watch a teaser of the I Can't Kill Myself, which is dropping on October 8th. Let's just watch this, and when we come back, we continue with the interview.
I can't kill myself.
So that was a teaser. It's dropping on the 8th of October, actually. But that song and the video that I'm saying, it's Sky. It's sending message out to people. Now, who did the video actually, and who's working on who worked on the concept of the video as well?
Well, I manage and direct everything I do by myself, because I know nobody can give you exactly what you want, the way you want it. I'm the one who owns the inspiration. I own the song. So it's only safe to say that I know what I picture in my head before I make a song. Sometimes before I make a song, I already seen a video. You understand? And thank God for Jamil. Jamil is a Liberian, currently working in the Gambia. I've worked on a few videos with him, me and Iconic Loyalty. He shot that.
Oh, that video is
and
nice.
he's mad talented. And we shot that video with my phone.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then we shot Bye Bye, the freestyle, just like that I released about 3 weeks ago. And we came up with this masterpiece, went into the market, you know, try to do something that every other person is not doing. Like, people always want to show you the beautiful part of the Gambia. But we all know that the Gambia has places and has people that are going through it every day. And we don't show those people. We don't let people know that this is the story that is, you know, on this other side. And we're only focused about what we want to see or what we want to make people see. And this is media, it's strong. You know what I'm talking about. What you show is what people see, is what people believe. So I just wanted to show a beautiful piece of my own country and how much some of the people that are struggling here should not really be thinking too much of the struggles and not kill themselves concerning things that don't even make any sense. Just do and live your everyday life accordingly.
Then for y'all, Uche is no longer a producer, but a video director, man. I can tell. But we're gonna have some fun, man. Let's watch this video clip from Uche, and when we're back, we wrap everything up, man.
Trying to make the money. I wanna build a house, wanna drive around. I owe you to my mommy. Yeah. I'm on my journey, I'm on my grind. I'm trying to make the money. In Yalubanka, honey, yeah, bang, nothing can stop me. Go killing tanga, killing ta. I'm manjari sonkola. I'm manjari sonkola. I'm manjari sonkola. Go killing tanga, killing ta.
Well, that's Uche. That's the video you saw from Uche there. Now, before we take a leave of you, your final words to your fans out there, and then we need a freestyle, man. It's Thursday. We're closing this morning for this week, so we need something, man. We need something to vibrate.
And let me just give them a taste of the EP. Let me just do a freestyle, quick freestyle, and I can kill myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Many things when me see in this life me can't understand. So me have to burst a little pride just cause me no want a fan. Man and yepa buga flex why can bugu tacha I'm no deaf. Teso I'm alone puga them a smile tryna be your friend. Oh man do my jailu my amut. Don't let nobody rush you, just vamos. Can do my text stress, can boom la text stress, so la dale ya konangu. My brother called killing time, cause dunia be a good. Say me I wanna live a simple life, make money, fekaya la tamit nangu. But I can't kill myself for nobody.
Nobody. Can you kill yourself for someone? It's not possible, man. I can't kill myself for nobody, bro. For nobody. And trust me, we're having fun in the studio. Final words, man.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's the EP. And as heavy as everybody says it is, trust me, I have heavier stuff inside for everybody out there. And the purpose and the plan is just to promote good music and to tell all my fans there that the people that keep supporting me on a day-to-day basis, that I love you and I see your support. And I want to thank the whole Gambia because I made sure that I told them officially I was releasing something and everybody stayed up and waited for me to actually release it. And that feels like love. I felt love. And I'm grateful. And I want to tell you that from now on, Uche is going to be giving you positive vibes.
That is Uche married. And you all go stream out there, the EP rather, King of My City, KMC. Trust me, it's on fire, man.
It's on
and
fire.
I'm Skengman Sweezy, and I'm saying bye from today. But don't worry, if you want to chill with me tonight, meet me at Vogue. Let's chill together, man. It's going down.
Wato topal sumagana pas ki Charm Creation.
Because Manzara madam. Manzara madam.
So film nekk ni Uche, one stop water solution nak dañ ñëw join suñ team bi this morning. So gis nga film nekk ni boo bëggee ndox bu set ay filter ay tanks yi nga bëgg yëpp demal one stop water solution. Amee ko.
See them ourselves. We need something.
I'm
taking Uche as well. It's high time some of these companies should be signing Gambian artists or people in the industry as their face of or brand ambassador of the company as well. It helps a lot. We want to see other people outside, other Gambian artists or people in the media outside, their face being as brand ambassador in other companies as well. It tells a lot. It helps a lot.
It tells a lot. Why one stop water solution, mom? You know, face is Buba Fati. I'm for Ibrahim Balde. I'm for Jena Basongo. I'm for Uche me.
Send them on location.
One stop water solution.
Yeah,
one stop water solution.
One stop water solution. So film nani nak Charm Creation la ñoo waxal de.
Oh man dama war.
No man.
So film nani ku bëgg lu mel ni rek demal Charm Creation number bi di 3994919 399 4919 Charm Creation appreciate nañ support bi torop li nice na.
And my outfit is from Cara Creation. You meet him and then you get something like this. But I look so comfortable in this, you know. To be honest, man.
It's nice.
Y'all never asked me, man.
Why you kula sola?
This is Uche's creation.
Uche's creation. Anyway, viewers, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Uche. And we're wishing you good luck. So event bi nak ku ñu fa dégaar rek nañu mas. Yow nak nga ne foy dem
tonight meet me at Senegambia Vogue. Let's chill. June meets Afrobeat, man. It's going down.
So till we come your way on Monday, thank you so much for joining us and bye for now.
hadamadin ila nyantolum preji kendomi annun ji senawo adabe hadamadun la balu wala kon annun hadamadun ka fengo fen dundi akono kono ayanda ke ku senawol ay ke kuti mi yalla ko ata hadamadun mantora madum one stop water solutions limited ibi janne gambia banko kan annun ye filtarole natal mi yalla ko isala jiol kende andi anu isa senen inatale pour ka ji kendo ji senawo natale gambia banko kan jio mi yalla ko atal mantora la annun jio diata baki one stop water solutions limited ye filtarole natal mi yalla ko alse munafa anola alla pompol isala jiol tenteng ya senendi coming alla fala nyame naketa pompoti bang abo hono fo nawek la pipe wala a filter sifa o sifa one stop solutions ya natalele 10-inch filter set of 3 ya sotalele filter mi yalon ko acid yota aya tenteng natara bankole ba kono fa kenyo wala kankamo be bije isa be bon filter fana member ko 12-inch set of 3 filter mi yalon ko acid yota aya dada aya senendi mense beta alla jata kendato o fana sotale CTO block carbon filter o fana mu filter mi yalon ko acid chemical o bonnino jiol konole mense beta alla jata kendeya filter mum boko CTO block carbon men si jiola chemical be bondi akono pour ka alla jata kendeya sahen nim filter sabol be kili wo kili na pansundo ku na wata tankol fanan sotali kabrim 500 5000 fokata 10000 liters plumbing fittings fanan be mol bulle alsemol tarano sukuta highway mariama kunda johnson wala ismol kumandi 505 5691 796 8272 one stop water limited solutions inatale ka jiko be sonende gambia banko
Novelas ma gunge ci sama kër gi ba xet ji ne duma toog duma tàyyi man daal de moo koy wëri parfum Novelas suñ ko bis ki kër gi xet gi day neex parfum Novelas mooy waaja lii mooy parfum Novelas parfum bi dafa neex forest bi dafa neex saxaar ba bi dafa neex lii mooy parfum Novelas parfum bi dafa neex almadina boko pompe xet gi day gunguni lii mooy parfum Novelas baxuur bi dafa neex brise marine bi ak yëpp a neex ak Novelas fépp xeeñ neex